G'day, Justin Morris here from Mind Matters Athlete Coaching for another episode of the No Baloney Bike Advice Series. Today we're down here in the Mind Matters Bike Dungeon and we're going to have a yarn about mountain bikes. I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes with you going through what some of the new technologies in mountain biking are, of which there are many over the past 5 to 10 years, and which ones you might want to look out for if you're looking at getting into mountain biking as a maybe to complement your road cycling or just to get into the sport itself. It is experiencing a growth at the moment. The benefits of mountain biking are you don't have to deal with cars on the road. You actually get a bit more of an efficient workout. The old rule used to be 1 hour on the mountain bike is equivalent to about 2 hours out on the road bike, because on a mountain bike you're using much more of your upper body, so you're getting more of a full body workout, and also you're usually putting out a bit more effort to conquer the terrain you're on. You're looking at steeper terrain. You're going to have to be pretty switched on for the downhills as well as the uphills. Unlike in road cycling, where sometimes if you're cruising along a straight road, the old mind can wander and you can often daydream or sing yourself fairy tales whilst you're riding along. Mountain biking, not so common. Actually, one of the big benefits I see in mountain biking is it forces you to be in the present moment. And something I work a lot with my clients on is that moment thinking and acting. So on a mountain bike, if you're riding some single track and your mind isn't 100% in the current moment, you might find yourself headbutting a tree or going head over bars into a rock garden. Alright, now mountain bikes these days, as you can see, this is my one here. It's had a bit of an accident lately, a tubeless explosion on the rear wheel. That's that gunk there. If you were to walk into a bike shop and get served by some friendly bike shop staff these days and tell them you're looking at getting into mountain biking, one of the first questions or things they're going to point out to you is the differences between a dual suspension mountain bike and a hardtail mountain bike. This one here has suspension at the front and the back, so it's a dual suspension mountain bike. A hardtail mountain bike has only this suspension at the front here, so the rear end of the bike is fully rigid. Now, my advice, if you're getting into the sport or you're a parent of a young kid who's shown a lot of passion for mountain biking and wants to improve their skills, I strongly advise you, choose the hardtail. Don't be like me and ride this fancy dual suspension bike, opt for the hardtail. The hardtail gives you a lot more sensations from the trail. It forces you to become a better bike handler, whereas a lot of the new mountain bikes, the new dual suspension mountain bikes, they come with so much suspension, you might as well be riding around on your lazy boy with the old leg extension or on your sofa bed rather than riding a mountain bike. There is so much suspension, you just point and shoot, let go of the brakes and hope for the best. This is about halfway between the two, not like the modern lazy boy mountain bikes, but not a hardtail. This is what they call a cross-country race dual suspension bike. So we've got 100mm of travel at the front here, 100mm at the back, which is enough to get through most trails, but and definitely enough to notice a difference from a hardtail, but not the complete plush 6 inches of travel that you'll see on most popular mountain bikes these days. So if you're new to the sport, have a look at a hardtail. And then down the track, if you spend a few years on a hardtail or even a few months and then opt for the dual suspension, when you do get onto the dual suspension, you're going to fly. You're going to be that much better bike handler. You're going to be that much better at picking lines on a mountain bike trail. When I started, this is back in the year 2000, there wasn't much option. The only things we had was 26-inch wheels and hardtail mountain bikes with V-brakes and about 80mm suspension. But that was many, many moons ago. The other big development in mountain biking I wanted to quickly go over is these things here. See this little shaft here? That's what they call a dropper seat post. Now, when I first saw these come out, you'll see them come stock on a lot of the longer travel dual suspension mountain bikes these days. A dropper seat post means that whilst you're riding along, you can push a button up on the handlebar and the seat will drop down. And then when you want the seat back up, you push the button and it'll go back up again. Now, when I first saw these, I thought, what an absolute wank. Why would you need to get rid of your seat whilst you're riding? And that was part of the skill of mountain biking, was being able to get your weight behind the saddle and being able to manoeuvre the bike with the seat posts there. However, as with most things in my cycling life, I used to bag them, but then I started riding them and I realised, hang on, this thing's actually awesome and is giving me a whole bunch of speed that I never knew I could get before. Being able to drop the seat whilst you're descending a tight, twisty trail or even over some rocky, technical terrain, getting rid of the seat means it's so much easier to get your weight back and then subsequently sustain your balance. And it means when you're going around corners on a fast descent, you can throw the bike around a lot more and subsequently gain a whole bunch of speed. But they're the main things I wanted to chat about on mountain bikes. We've gone over road bikes for a few weeks now. The gear systems are similar to road bikes in that you've got a heap of different ratios to choose from. Your ratios on a mountain bike are going to be much broader, so you can get up far steeper and rougher terrain, unlike a road bike where the emphasis is more on speed. But tune in again, we'll have a bit of a deeper chat about mountain biking and the different specifics that have come out with mountain bike technology over the past few years. But highly recommend the sport. It's what my background's in, that's what I started. It gets heaps of kids into the sport, which is really, really cool. And quite often you'll see some of the best road racers, they actually started on the mountain bike. Cadell Evans, one of them. Lance Armstrong started riding a mountain bike. Chris Froome even was a mountain bike rider. It's really fun sport and inspires a lot of enjoyment, inspires a lot of passion. So get into it, you won't regret it.